Hello, hello, hello. It is Thursday, everybody. I wanted to hop on here and say, hey, how's it going? Catch up with everybody. Tammy, Jamie, I see you. Um, I'm probably going to butcher this, but we'll just say Miss Payne. No Talk Tony, nice to see you. Uh, so today was one of those, I'm not going to say it was a day. It was, I had a little bit of some medical stuff come up, everybody. PTS for life, Johnny Cummings. Thank you so very much for coming. Um, Gamer Jacques, thank you so much for coming. So I had to go to the doctor. Everything was, semi okay, semi not okay. Aurora, welcome. There's a good chance I am going to be having a major surgery, everybody. So we're going to try to lighten the day because unfortunately, as you guys all know, I have what's called trigeminal neuralgia. And that means, in layman's terms, or the way that they like to call it, it is a type of chronic pain disorder that involves sudden severe facial pain. It affects the trigeminal nerve and the fifth cranial nerve, which provides feeling and nerve signals to many parts of your head and face. So I figured I would give like an actual definition of it. They like to call it the suicide disease. They like to call it, so many things. But it's just, it looks like it is no longer going to be on one side of my face. It's heading towards being on both sides. And before anyone asks, they don't know what causes it. I've had a neurosurgeon tell me that it could possibly be from abuse. It could be possibly from having my jaw broken so many times. There's a lot of different things that can happen. But I wanted to at least come on here and be positive. So for me, positivity is what does, we'll start off like this. Right before this live, I was watching Reese's live. And then during her live, I got a phone call from Serge Obolinski. Everything's good. We chit chat all the time. He wants me to come down, go to Disneyland. I'm working on it, everybody. It is not a fun place for me, but I am working on it. But he had made a comment, what are you going to talk about on your live? Why don't you talk about the triangles? Now, the reason I'm bringing that up, everybody, is because it'll make a little bit more sense in a second. So triangles, they have affinity, reality, and communication. It's the 3 points to a triangle. And there's so much, they call it the ARC triangle, and it's this. But the funny part is, so the lesbian logo, the first lesbian logo that I ever saw that it was ever told to me is an upside down triangle. So when I was younger, it used to make me crack up because suddenly it was triangle. Oh, they took it from the gays. But nobody took anything from anybody. It just happens to be a coincidence kind of thing. And it made him laugh and it made me smile. And because of that, we got into a little bit of a conversation where, he goes, I wish we had been friends for much longer. And there's a part of me that wishes that I was able to find him when I was, part of Celebrity Center or leaving Scientology, or the many of times that I took off down, Hubbard Boulevard. Xeno's Homegirl, thank you so very much for coming. But, that's not how the cards were dealt. We weren't dealt those beautiful cards. And instead, he had another way of saving him. And that means the world to me. He also wanted me to explain to you guys what's fair roads and fair weather. Now, the reason I'm explaining it is because maybe this is something that hasn't been talked about, but I think it has. So fair roads, fair weather is a way to basically write a letter saying you don't care. Here, oh, my day was lovely, blah, 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 blah. because you do not believe in the same views that I have, you're suppressive to Scientology. I'm writing you to say good roads, good weather, have a great life. I wish you nothing but the best, kind of thing. And it's a really disgusting letter, because if there was ever love there, it doesn't seem like it, because it'll be a very cold and callous letter. The reason he wanted it mentioned is because um, it basically leads into what I wanted to talk about today. And I talk to him about what I go over, just so that, we can talk about anything. So it's an open forum kind of thing. So then it turned into this situation where, when we were kids, who was defined as a suppressive person? So a suppressive person was someone that basically they held you down. They didn't want you to succeed. They were constantly, if you had an overt or withhold against them, then they'd make you PTS, which is potential trouble source. And then from there, you would get sick, all this bullharky. Hi, Joni. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the gathering of friends. But as kids, we were always told that a suppressive person is this evil person. It's a person that is taking you away from your mission. It is a person that is just wants harm to happen to everyone. Now, here's where it's a little different. Obviously, everybody in the chat should know someone that has been declared a suppressive person. You can throw it in the chat. It is totally okay. There's no harm, no foul, I promise. But so we'll go with the first one. So I'll go with my first one, and my first one's Amy. Amy's declared a suppressive person. Matt declared a suppressive person. Claire, Mark, Mike, Christy, all of these people were declared suppressive people. Now, here's what I want to differentiate. There is a huge difference in a suppressive person that Scientology has and the idea that we call ourselves, whether it's SPTV or we call ourselves suppressive. We're taking it as at least I am. I shouldn't say we, because I'm taking it as a badge of honor. I'm taking it as you're saying I'm suppressive, but realistically, I would give the shirt off my back to anybody that needs it. I may have $10 in my pocket and there's a homeless person with kids. I'm going to give up my $10. I might go buy food with the $10, or I might just give it to them, because realistically, we're all human. We all have bad times. We all have good times, and life fluctuates. Life is up and down. But at the same time, the suppressive people that I have met, or the people that Scientology has deemed suppressive, they're completely the nicest people that I've ever met. They're basic, each and every one of them would give you the shirt off your back, would tell you the shit that they've gone through, the things that they've had to dig themselves out of, so that you can understand what possibly happens. We don't tell the stories because we want to hurt anybody's feelings. We don't tell the stories because we want people to feel sorry for us. We tell the stories because like me personally, I want everyone to stay away. Just avoid it like the plague. And if me telling you the shit that I've gone through, I cussed. Is it early? It basically turns into this whole situation where all the people that I was told was suppressive, your mom Oshi, welcome, aren't suppressive. They're the type that would give you anything that you need. I'm personally, I know I was deemed suppressive just because of being, you obviously, as soon as I came out as gay, here it is. I told my father, everybody, I told my father that I was gay, but he took it like a trooper. He even made a joke. Everything seemed okay. But realistically, per the Scientology religion, now I don't know if it comes neck and neck with me coming out as gay, and the reason why my father suddenly died. I don't know that. I think that personally is more of a suppressive act than just saying I'm gay. So I want to take the idea of disconnection and not let it really bury you anymore. I want it to, I gave it a nice name, don't let disconnection hurt you anymore. So here I am saying, you know what? You no longer have the power over me. You no longer can destroy families. Now, are they going to continue trying to destroy families? Yes. But as long as each and every one of you spreads the information, hey, avoid this, hey, don't do that, then and only then can we stop what's really going on. Now, I had a conversation with you guys yesterday. Got another magazine today. Okay. I think it's hilarious that I went from getting a magazine once a week to now I'm getting a magazine every single day. And what's even more disgusting is, just like in the previous magazine, everybody, they have this beautiful thing that says, see the light don't work, but earn your wings to solo fly. That means to self-audit. Then it goes right into linking Scientology with the Egyptians, saying that the same reality that they felt for immortality is the same thing that Scientology feels. I had to read it twice just to make sure. Because there's people inside that somehow truly believe that these are somehow in common. They have something in common. There's nothing in common between Egyptians and Scientology. I promise you. I have done many of studies on Scientology. I have done many of studies on the Egyptian culture. I think it is a beautiful culture. And, some of the things that I read were astonishing and beautiful. But they do have some nerve. Now, I was listening to Laura FM, which I always do. I try to catch everybody's just for like a couple minutes, just to say, hey, just to, to listen to what they're doing. Hold on. I'm going to tag that question in just a second. Okay. And Laura made a beautiful comment. When we were kids, they used to tell us, we're up 10,000 members. We're up 20,000 members. We're up to 1 million people are Scientologists. Let's be realistic, people. Organizations would not be closing if they were doing good. That means the word is getting out. There's no longer there's no chance. Like, you can talk to Mike, you can talk to Claire, you can talk to Mark, you can talk to Amy. Any one of them would basically state they're not growing. And there's no way that there's a million people. I keep saying subscribers, but they're not subscribers in Scientology. They're cash cows, or cash cows. I apologize. But it's you're not thought of as a person anymore. You're thought of as what you can bring to the table. How much money can you bring to the organization? You're not a family member. You're not a friend. Now, all I could think of is, with the change of times, at even the IAS event, there wasn't a lot of people there. Yes, Tom Cruise flew in on a jet. Woo! He has money to do it. Fine, whatever. I didn't see multiple people there. And the pictures that were there were honestly pretty empty, everybody. It was pretty empty when you go from having like a huge gathering of people, and most of them were Sea Org members. So let's not get that twisted. And we had to go. There was no ifs, ands, or buts there. And we were to sit there and cheer. But I kept thinking, what would they have done at this event that basically says they're growing? And it made me think they would say they have 10 million members. 10 million people that are working their way on the bridge when there is probably like, I don't know, like 20,000. And I'm pushing that 20,000 number from my understanding. But here's the thing, and this is where even I got it twisted, everybody. We believed, and including myself, I believed that every word that came out of the mouths of the people on stage meant something. I believed that they would not lie to us. They would not be disrespectful. They would not. But here's the thing, you can't cash in other people if they know that it's falling apart. So what's a better thing to do? They lie. They get families to disconnect, especially families. If you have a grandmother, grandfather, anybody with money, and I mean large quantities of money, they're lonely. I promise you they're lonely. If one Scientology person gets a hold of them, suddenly they're not going to be lonely. And I don't care what the grandmother, grandfather wants to do in the long run, but a lot of times they will try to suck their wallets dry. And then by the time the family has found out that this person's having their wallet sucked dry, they turn around and it's already gone. And there's nothing that we can do. It's nothing we can stop. It's all about how can they get the most amount of money out of everybody. Now, we already know that they're stealing, or they're putting credit cards in elderly people's names. I'm super curious. I want to know if my dad is one of them, because let's be real, that's my dad. And if you're doing it to others, then I guarantee you it's happening to my father. They don't want people like us to talk to the people inside, because then we're going to find out the truth. And if we find out the truth, we're going to raise more of a stink. So why not say that we are suppressive? We're trying to bring down the church. I would love to bring down the church, but I personally don't hold that much power. But here, what I can do is I can let you know the abusive practices that happen inside there. And I can let you know how it's affected the second gens, the third gens. Well, actually, I can truly only let you know how it affects the second gen, because that's me. And I still have a parent that 100% believes, and I have a parent that potentially wants to get out, but could also 100% believe and may not want to leave. So I'm screwed in the parent department, everybody. I am, oh, hold on one second. Joel, what does it say? Wait, Cult of Scientology lies? Really? Wow. But they're a church. No, not a church. And yep, lies. I like that. That was amazing. And I think that was sarcasm, because I got it. And that doesn't happen very often, everybody. I really don't quite get sarcasm, but I think I got that one. Now let me grab the question so I don't forget it. Jamie, question, is Scientology sending you this stuff? Technically, no. They are 100% sending it to my mom, and my mom said I could have it. It also is addressed to her or current resident. So technically, I'm on the lease. So I am the current resident. And for that, I will expose each and every one of their BS little magazines and sit there and tell you guys exactly what they're trying to say, so that you can avoid them like the plague, because we all need to just do that. Okay, so Candy's Life, do you happen to have his social security number? We do have his legal name. Do not have his social. If you have his credit report run on 3 businesses at Pokemon, 3 bureaus, I don't have his social. If I had his social, I would gladly run it in a heartbeat, so that I could walk in and be like, bull crap. Bull crap. I'm probably cussing too early, but okay, bull. Liz, you have Marilyn, mom, and you have your Aunt Me, plus a lot of brothers and sisters and uncles. And yes, and I have gained that. And I have Laura FM, I have Vanessa LaRose, I have Alicia, I have so many people surge. Like I've gained so many people. And I will tell you one thing. I was sitting on a phone call with Amy, and Amy said, "It's like you're my daughter." Now, she's not old enough to be my mom, everybody. But you know what? For the first time, that felt good because she was trying to say something protective of me. And it felt so good to have someone say they wanted to be like a mom. Um, yeah, it warms my heart, everybody. It's not very often that I do the whole crying thing. I mean, if a person's in enough pain, yes. Alex, nice to see you. Thank you for sending love from London, because pip pip cheerio. Scientology's got to go. Joni Cummings, Liz, I'm proud to call you sister, and I am proud to call you sister. If you ever need anything, you let me know. And we got a question. Jamie Palmer, Liz, question: do you think they'll stop sending stuff when they find out you're showing the info on here? Well, that's possible, but let's be realistic, everybody. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5. So they can stop sending me stuff, but I've got a little bit of stuff to go over with you guys. I'm just saying. Yep, rice and beans are not a meal. So I do want everyone to at least think about that, because it can be a hard time. It can be difficult at times, for a lot of us. And I do say that because it's been difficult for me. I've run into a couple of experiences where it's like I felt like I was in a marathon, or I felt like I was sprinting a race, and the race was to get as many subscribers as possible because I had put this number, I had gotten this number in my head. It, once I reached 5,000, 10,000, because someone had suggested those numbers, then and only then am I making enough noise for them to shove my father out. But here's the trick, everybody. I've got 7 days until his birthday, and it's not about the the followers, the subscribers. It's not about any of that. It's literally about getting the message out to avoid Scientology. If a friend says, "Hey, I'm thinking about going down and I'm going to do a personality test," don't let them do it. Because you know what? A lot of people think that they're strong enough and their will is strong enough. But here you also have a few things to think about. People that say that they're strong enough at the fair when the hypnotist comes out, guess what? They get hypnotized. Now, the people that don't dream and are like a very small part of the population that can't envision when they're reading a book, the picture doesn't pop in their head, they can't be hypnotized. Now, I'm not saying Scientology hypnotizes, but I'm telling you, it doesn't take much to make someone believe that they're doing good. Because a lot of us started in here and it was all about doing good, the greatest good for the greatest number of dynamics. And I wanted to save the world. I wanted to cure war. I wanted to cure hunger. I wanted all of these things. And I kept thinking, if I do my job, if I am the hardest working EPFIC, Estates Project Force, in charge, then and only then will the people that are graduating from the Estates Project Force be able to move forward, and they'll be the best Sea Org members that they can be, because I'm giving them the nudge and I'm giving them the information, and these are my stats. But realistically, everybody, I was shoving people through a course that should never have been done. I was doing pictures for the LRH comm so that way she can complete tasks. I was running errands for the LRH comm CC network, or I was staying up all night so that I can talk to the different orgs. So that way the LRH comm didn't have to stay up. It was just me. And here I was, waiting to talk to the LRH comm, CC Nashville, CC Florence, CC Vienna, CC Dusseldorf, and there were times that I didn't get to sleep. But then someone would graduate from the state's project force, and suddenly I was in power again. And then all of a sudden I couldn't recruit my mom again, and it turned into this like very narrow field. Liz, comment, hypnosis is freaky to me. Really got to trust the people doing the hypnotizing. Yes, you do. I would not recommend someone at a fair. I would not recommend it. Now, again, there are some doctors that work in hypnotherapy, and just be very mindful of who you're getting and that you trust them. But that's similar to how it works, because a lot of times the way that people get hooked is there's a niche. Okay, we'll use this. There's something that you've been wanting so bad, whether it's marriage, whether it's family, whether it's kids, whether it's to end war. Here it is. But they put it like on a shelf, and they're going to put it on a shelf that's like just out of reach. Okay. We'll put it over here. So now you're driving to try to get that. You're trying to cure the world. And then before you know it, you believe all this other rigmarole. You're holding cans and confessing all your sins. You're feeling so much better because you confessed all of these sins, and now you have no lies to hold back. Sandra, nice to see you. Hey, if it doesn't work on you, that is a good thing. It does not work on my love either, and that is fantastic. It does work on me, obviously. I have I get a vivid imagination when I read things. Hey, Marilyn, nice to see you. I was in your chat this morning. I did see you. Everybody say hi. She's my adoptive mom. But yes, it can be hard, but you have to remember. So again, here's the thing. Let's say that you're in college, and let's say that, okay, we're gonna knock on wood, because at some point this chair had some wood in it. And then all of a sudden, something happens and you don't have your family anymore. Okay. I'm not saying it's really going to happen, but let's say it does. Now you are all by yourself, and someone says, you know what? Hey, Renee B, welcome. Someone says, hey, why don't you come join me for a personality test? That's all it is. And it's basically you get asked a bunch of questions. You fill it out, and then they tell you, oh, you have a really high IQ. Have you ever thought of doing the communication course? And then one course leads to another course, leads to another course. And then before you know it, you've invested so much money that you can't turn around and say, oh my God, I just gave them $100,000 and my life is crap. You literally have to believe every time you cut that check that this is going to make you a better person. This is going to make you a stronger human. But the difference is nobody inside really believes they're making you stronger. They're looking at you like you are the next cash cow. They're looking at you like they can continuously pull money from you, and you would have to do nothing in return. All you have to do is show up to a course, spend $10,000, do the purif, sweat out all the toxins. Guess what? You're not really sweating out all the toxins, everybody. With the amount of niacin that you're giving, you're doing a hope and a prayer that you don't die, because that's what it is. It's a hope and a prayer that you don't die. I know I keep reminding everybody, please don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe. I know people are being unsubscribed, and for that, I am truly sorry. If I had a hocus pocus rigmarole to do it, I would gladly do it for everyone. So there is the hook. And so with the hook, they get you in the door. Once they get you in the door, then they continue sucking you dry. So then they suck you dry. They want your family. They'll ask you to get loans. They'll ask you to borrow money from grandma, from grandpa. Do whatever you have to do to keep moving up the bridge. Keep moving up the bridge. Doesn't matter that you're broke. Keep moving up the bridge. And before you know it, you're in debt so far that you can't even recover. And it doesn't matter that you're about to be on the street, because I guarantee you it works in a cycle. You're now on the street and you're sleeping near the HGB, you're sleeping near the org. Guess what? The first thing they're going to do is spray you down with cold water so that you do not sleep in front of their building. It doesn't matter that they are the cause. That will never matter. You are no longer human once you are no longer able to contribute. I apologize, everybody. But at the same time, I'm warning everybody so that way you stay away. I've known many of people that have bled their accounts dry. I've been that stupid person that, paid for things that I shouldn't have, and bought boxes and boxes of books, bought pallets of books, and donate them to the libraries thinking, oh, I'm doing so much good for the world. Realistically, I wasn't helping anybody, because I could have taken the money that I had and went and donated it to a homeless shelter, and then I was helping. CK, welcome. So what I am choosing to do is I am choosing to be a suppressive person, because a suppressive person means that you're kind, loving, loyal, and no matter what, you believe in helping everybody. I believe in getting everyone help. I believe that my voice can carry. I believe that I'm doing the best that I can. I believe that I will see my dad one day. Gary Mackey, Liz, I've seen on several channels that the host actually posts the chat. It'll help with the algorithm, spread the word. I don't always post it, and for that, I'm sorry. I like to go back and post it, but I'll start posting more. I'm sorry, guys. I know that Coltsby Colton is in the house. Miss Retired Red. Is Sophia in the house? I did not see Sophia. Okay. So I'll start posting the chat. I don't mean to not post it. Hey, see? Coltsby Colton. Hey. But you just have to remember, one person can be loud enough if they spread the word hard enough. And so by hard enough, I mean, I'm not giving up. There are days that we're going to have good days. There's days that we're going to have really bad days. And today is, again, one of those days. But even if I have to sit here with my neuralgia acting up and tell you guys to stay away, then I'm going to continue telling you guys to stay away, because I don't want anyone to get hook, line, and sinkered. I don't want anyone to bow down to a celebrity, because they're literally just people. They just have a much larger bank account, everybody. And I'm okay with my bank account how it is. Well, I wouldn't mind a couple more zeros. Let's be realistic, but I'd rather earn that and do the best I can. But right now we're trying everything humanly possible to do what we need to do. And that means reaching out for my dad. And I'm going to be honest, people, there's a good chance he's not going to get those presents. But there's so much of me that wants to try, and trying is all I've got. That's all I've had from the very beginning, is I'm just trying to be me and trying to let you guys know that sometimes things are going to be good. Sometimes things are going to be great. Sometimes love is love. Sometimes hockey is hockey and baseball is baseball. But sometimes there's bad days. And I'm not having a bad day at all. I just want you guys to know that this is a cult that we're working against. And this cult will do everything humanly possible to make sure that we stop. And I know that I don't want to stop until I have my dad. I don't want to stop until I see someone walking out those doors with the truth. Okay. Mischief. I had an appointment once. I was quitting smoking. I wanted my hubby in there with me, and he wouldn't allow it. So I didn't go through with it, still smoking. And that's totally okay. Whatever, if you do not feel comfortable, like the idea that your husband wasn't allowed in there, it's like, That's weird. That's really weird. Well, maybe it's not weird, because if it was a private session, I wouldn't want someone in there. But I mean, who knows? I am not licensed, everybody. I'm doing the best I got. I'm letting you know how things go for me. The good, the bad, and everything in between. Because realistically, that's all we can do as human beings, is the best that we can. Okay, I'm going to go back and see if I missed any questions. So if there's any questions, please definitely ask it. I do want to say PTS for Life and I will be scheduling a live Tuesday at 5 o'clock. So that way we can chit chat, because there's so much of me wanted to know the difference between a staff experience, a Sea Org experience. Because I never got the staff portion of it. I jumped right into Sea Org. But I do also want to say, Renee B, question to Liz and everyone in the chat. I believe that we're all empathetic here. It makes us susceptible to cults. They prey on kind people interested in uplifting others. Yes. Because they are trying to find anything that they can to twist it and try to get you in. They will tell you that Santa Claus is real if they have to. They will tell you that they will tell you it is okay to be Jewish and a Scientologist. It is okay to be Catholic and a Scientologist. They will sit there and tell you Scientology has no God, so this will not interfere with it. Well, here's the thing. You're going to be told to choose. And I know that sounds rough and I know that sounds hard, but you know what? Eventually they're going to tell you to choose, because you can't continue believing with one foot in, one foot out, because they want you to jump both feet into Scientology and give them everything you have. And that includes your life. If you work yourself to death, they will sit there and applaud you. Congratulations. You have put in your billion years. Now they're just waiting for you to reincarnate so that you can come back to work. Never mind the fact that they've just worked someone to death. That doesn't matter to them. It's wonderful to work someone to death. We've all heard it happen. We've seen it. Like, I personally haven't witnessed the person dying, but I've seen it in other ways where someone was like, oh my God, they worked themselves to death. Oh, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it amazing? No, because their family never got to say goodbye. Their family doesn't get to see them. Okay. Mischief. Comment, the people in the cult are all there because they want to help people to clear the planet. Fundamentally, they're good people. That's why it's so sad. Yes, they are good people. Inside, there's not a lot of evil people. Is there, like David Miscavige, evil? Yes. Is, oh God, I could start naming off so many people that I think are evil people. Let's just go with Renee Duzak, and let's go with Security Chief Richardson. Okay. Because realistically, they were very vile. Now, at the same time, there's also people in there that think they're doing the greatest good. They think that they're saving people. They think that even though they're only eating rice and beans and they feel like they're going to pass out, it's okay, because they're doing the greatest good for the greatest number of dynamics. And I don't tell you this as a joke. I don't tell you this as, people really don't think this. I promise you, because I was one of them. I believed that I could save the world. I believed that if I continued my way up the bridge, that I was going to be able to cure myself. And I do think cure myself from being gay, because if I didn't tell people I was gay, then I could cure myself of it. But let's be realistic. I'm gay, and that's just who I am. I'm not contagious. I'm not going to sit there and shove my views upon you, but I just want to share my life so that way you understand what to avoid. You can give people a better understanding of what Scientology is, so that way you don't have to say goodbye to friends or family. You guys support us more than any family member has ever supported us. You know, growing up, I'll tell you a little secret, everybody. I was never exposed to chicken pox. So now, because there's an item in the chickenpox vaccine when I was old enough to take it that I'm technically deathly allergic to. Now, because of that, because of growing up in a cult, if someone comes around me with chickenpox, there is a good chance I'm going to die. That's ridiculous. If only they had exposed me in school or exposed me in some sort of way, like a chickenpox party. I don't know, whatever you would call it. But if I had just gotten it, then I wouldn't be so terrified. When friends, kids have little bumps, I'm like, because I really don't want to die the chickenpox way. So I don't see any additional questions. Let me grab this real quick. Sandra Hartley, I shared my video of DM doll wearing my SP bracelet as a sash. Mike Render shared it on the thread. Nice. Way to go, Sandra. That is amazing. But that's what I got, everybody. Now I will be going live with Laura. I'm going to head over to her channel. I wanted to keep this relatively short just because I want people to know that being an SP is not, it doesn't mean what you think it means. It could mean super perfect. How about that? Just super perfect. If anybody wants to, keep using the super perfect, it is totally okay. So I will bid you all adieu. Remember, don't forget to tip your waiter or waitress. Don't forget to smash the like and hit subscribe. Because above all else, remember, everybody, please be nice to everybody in the comments because we are all human. We bleed the same color. So thank you so very much for showing up. I love you all. I appreciate each and every one of you and helping me with this journey and with trying to do the best that I can and trying to get my dad out or anybody else that we can get out. So yes, Retired Red, thank you so very much. There is the link to the chat I will be in. I'm going to start a new one in just a second, but I want to thank you all for coming and I will talk to you later until we see each other again, which will be Friday. Adieu.